Man that saves abandoned kittens on the roadside is staggered to learn their real identity. Our morning commutes to work are normally filled with tired grumbling, quick sips of hot coffee, and mental itemizing of the day's tasks. However, on Hamdan Shibley's morning walk to work in Israel, he stumbled upon a life-changing shock. In the middle of the road, 3 small animals huddled together on the ground, clearly lost and abandoned. Before he could formulate a true plan of action, however, he discovered the animals were not what they appeared to be. After discovering the kittens in the middle of the road, Hamdan knew he had to do something. With their mother nowhere in sight, Hamdan decided he had to move them to safety. Hamdan put them in some roadside bushes in case their mother returned, and he planned to come back to check on them. He could only hope that the baby animals would still be there when he returned. But after he posted pictures of the kitties online, he was shocked to discover that he was completely wrong about the animals he found. There was a key detail that he'd missed about them. They were actually jungle cats, a wild species indigenous to Asia. Learning this, Hamdan returned the next day to the bush where he'd left them. Their mom still wasn't there, and he decided it was time to take action. The kittens were all sick and had lots of ticks. Clearly, they desperately required medical attention. So Hamdan placed them in a basket and went for help. The clock was ticking. Hamdan's efforts were noble, but odds were against the jungle cats. Tragically, one of the 3 kittens didn't make it. As the others kept fighting, Hamdan hoped that the worst was behind them. In a last-ditch attempt to stop any more senseless loss of life, Hamdan made a series of phone calls. He breathed a sigh of relief when he finally hung up. Help was just around the corner. Hamdan handed the kitties off to the vets at a wild animal hospital. With the cat's survival out of his hands, he could only wait for them to recuperate. In addition, Hamdan wanted some more answers about how exactly they wound up in the middle of a dusty road. As luck would have it, the veterinarians provided Hamdan with some answers about the animals. At the clinic, tests determined that both of the surviving kittens were male and no older than 5 weeks. Of course, knowing more about their backgrounds would mean nothing if the kittens didn't survive. The vets gave the kittens fluids and a milk substitute in order to nourish them back to full health. They needed to help the kittens gain weight so they could eventually be reintroduced back into the wild. The veterinarians feared that if they went back out in their current state, they wouldn't last among the elements. Little by little, the jungle cats began to regain their strength. Soon they were able to eat solid foods. That was without doubt a positive sign for their re-entry into the natural ecosystem. Things were looking good. With the kittens' appetites returning out of nowhere, eating actually became a favorite hobby of theirs. Hamdan, hearing the good news, expected that they were truly turning a corner. Continuing to grow in size, the animals began to play with one another on a more regular basis. They were now behaving like normal young jungle cats, not like starved creatures on the brinks of death. As meat became more prominent in the cat's diet, the vets felt it was a sign they'd soon be capable of hunting for their own food. They were getting closer and closer to being able to return to the wild, and there was no better time than the present. While the jungle cat isn't endangered worldwide, there are only about 600 in Israel where these kittens were found. Once these 2 males entered the wild, they would play a key role in the next generation. It's a miracle that Hamdan just happened upon these little guys before it was too late. A tear of joy ran down his face when he got the good news that the jungle cats were back out in nature, where they belonged.